Well, he starred on the hit show Top Chef and was once Oprah's private chef. I guess he's still technically doing that as well right now. Chef Kenny Gilbert is releasing his first cookbook titled Southern Cooking, Global Flavors, and he's pulling from his Southern roots and the experiences around the globe that his cooking has presented him with. And he's here in studio with us. It's so great to have you, Chef Kenny.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, you know, I mean, the food looks great. It smells great. You've got this book. This is a first for you.
Yes.
Okay, tell us a little bit about it.
So wrote the book during COVID, and we put together the deck presentation to try to get out to a publisher. After Rizzoli picked this up, you know, they were like, man, we see like 10 books out of this presentation. What do you want to say for your first book? So I thought about that, you know, why not highlight and celebrate my roots, which is based on Southern cooking, and then also my journey as a chef, which has international influences.
Well, talk about that, because so are your recipes then just a combination of the Southern stuff that all of us are used to, along with some of the other flavors from around the world? So
really what we're celebrating are Southern ingredients and the idea of Southern meals that we put together. So there's 10 kind of iconic Southern dishes in there. For example, chicken and biscuits, barbecue chicken and mac and cheese, just to name a few, collard greens and cornbread. So you're talking to me now. So you get a lot of those great traditional dishes. And then the flex on that is that we'll take those ingredients that are celebrated, the yams, the okra, the collards, the cornbread, and then we show how to incorporate other international influences in there. So such as, so for example, we have in the collard greens and cornbread chapter, we have a Thai collard green salad that actually has coconut cornbread crepes. So this is a bite. What you think about is that the collard greens and then the crepes gives you the reminder of that classic combination, but we are incorporating some Thai flavors.
So, you know, Gavir, you do some cooking, I do some cooking.
Yeah, we like to cook.
We're no, you know, chef like Chef Kenny. Exactly. I'm always curious to know, how do you come up with these recipes? Because, you know, a lot of people would just put random items together and they don't always work well together. But you apparently are doing Southern dishes, which in a lot of ways they can just stand alone, you know. 100%, but then when you try to infuse it with some of that global flair, I can imagine that's probably somewhat of a challenge, maybe?
Well, you know, back in my Ritz-Carlton days running fine dining, you know, my food is classified as international cuisine with a Southern influence. So when you're cooking for inspectors, you know, or basically the criteria for, you know, Forbes or AAA, they're expecting you, especially at that level, to actually have a regional influence, as also have a global impact, and because you have global travelers coming from around the world. That's right. So, for example, if we had a group that came in from Korea and they were, you know, visiting the hotel and having meetings and whatnot, and they would come into the restaurant, I would have something on the menu that gave them a sense of home. So, for example, I might get some quail from Mississippi. Nice. That's what I'm talking about. And do a nice braised quail breast, and then confit the legs. But I might do a little kimchi soup. So the kimchi soup they're going to relate to, the kimchi, the soup, and they're not going to be relatable to the quail. So I'm incorporating that Southern ingredient into an international, you know, influenced dish. Or I could do it the vice versa. I could bring in, for example, some, you know, bronzino or rouget from the Mediterranean, fry it or, you know, blacken it, and then have that with something that is more regional, like fried green tomatoes or like braised greens. So you kind of, you know, you're taking an ingredient that could be globally influenced, and then putting it with a preparation that is very Southern. Or you could take these Southern ingredients that we're used to, the okra, the yams, and things like that, and then, you know, and prepare it and actually have some other spices that basically will take you to another style of cuisine.
Very, very nice. You still doing a little chefing for Oprah?
I did last year. I did holidays, Christmas.
What's her favorite dish that you do?
She loves She loves chicken and biscuits. You know? So actually, this one right here is called the Flavor Bomb. That's a signature sandwich in our restaurants. It's a truffle smoked Gouda biscuit with chives, and then a smoky fried chicken thigh tossed in the Flavor Bomb sauce.
That is so awesome. Chef Kenny, it is so great to have you on the show. Look, I told him we go way back to Jacksonville, where I was before Atlanta. So it's good to see you. We're going to get a link to where you can find this wonderful cookbook online at AtlantaNewsFirst.com.